Remember the scene. You lot are still snug in your beds in the early hours of the morning. The wind is booming down the gutters, and I've already done a lot of work before it even gets light. Alfie, in your gutter. Sit. Now check me barrels. If you're an idiot and you're careless fool and you get a plug of mud stuck up your barrel, lots of mud around this place, okay? If you put a couple of cartridges in behind that and then fire it, you will blow the end of your gun right off. You need to know this stuff. If you have a look down the barrels first, make sure there's not a single scrap of anything in there before you put the cartridges in. The golden rule with handling guns is that you never point guns towards other people. Let that sink in for a second. And if you stick with that, you can't possibly have an accident. Clay pigeon shooters, they got into a very bad habit. And I'm passing this on to the youngsters here today. Clay pigeon shooting, it's a safe environment. You're in a cage, they got a machine down there, throws out a little black disc, and you shout pull, and then they shoot it. But what do people do? And I'll show you what they do. They put a couple of cartridges in, slam their gun shut like that, and shout pull. Now that is the wrong way to close a gun, kids. The wrong way. You've seen it, you know who you are, slamming a gun shut like that. Look where it's pointed. See, what you've got to imagine now, and think about it, is that this is a mechanical device. All mechanical devices will, one day, fail. If you don't service it every single year, it's going to fail one day. And that sudden slamming it shut like that could easily set it off. And that's how accidents happen. My dad was very smart. He made me carry a big old duck gun around for 12 months. Never let me have any cartridges. What he was doing is making sure I knew everything to know about shotguns. And the way to close a shotgun is, the proper way is with a stock up to the barrels. If it accidentally, very unlikely, but if it did, it goes up harmlessly into the mud. Get the picture? So you never point guns towards other people. Get back in your gutter. Back in your gutter. Right. So it's early in the morning, the tide's coming in now. I should just mention about tides. We've got a couple of minutes to go. Stay there. Now, if I were to tell you, in my gutter here, on the marsh, close to the main channel, when the tide comes up and fills all the gutters behind me are now filled up, I can't get back to mainland. You would say, this bloke is mental. But you see, let me explain this. I live in Cornwall, right on the coast, and every week of the summer holidays, the coast guards are called out to rescue flipping idiots. It's true. And of course, the reason is they haven't bothered to learn to get a set of tide tables. How many times have you heard on the news that people have been cut off by the tide? Well, let me explain. You get two types of tides, two extremes. You get spring tides, they're the big ones. If we were on the salt marsh in the middle of winter, on the top of a spring tide, we'd all be under 5 foot of seawater. And it's freezing cold in winter, and you'll probably drown trying to swim back to the land. So, you don't want to be on the marsh on a spring tide. So what causes a spring tide? Well, it's not difficult to learn. I learnt this as an 11-year-old boy. When you look up into the sky at night and you see a full moon, you've all seen it, a big full moon, perfectly round. 2 days later, we always get the biggest tides. The same applies to a new moon, but you can't see a new moon because it's cut out by the shadow from the sun of the earth, so it's invisible. But you see that sickle moon, 2 days later, that's the biggest tides on a new moon. Half a moon cut in half, you've all seen it, cut exactly in half. 2 days later, you get the lowest tides. And so the tide doesn't even come up to the top of the marsh. The gutters fill, it means I'm cut off, but that doesn't make it dangerous, does it? Because the tide comes in and it takes 6 hours. It takes 6 hours for the tide to go out. So all these people that phone the Coast Guard, all the Coast Guards are really doing is getting people home in time for tea. They're not saving their life. If only people realise, get up on the dry land. I've stood out tides before. I've had the tide come up to my waist and I've been there for 3 solid hours with the water pouring in me waders. Stupid, you can't get back. The channels are all full. And so I learned. So you need to know the parameters. And it's not that scary if you know what you're doing. Right, enough of all that. Right, Alfie. Let's see if we can bag ourselves with... No. Heel. Get in your hide. Get in the mud. Right, remember, there are no trees or bushes to hide behind. It's starting to get light now. I can hear the tide swirling through the gutters now and it's filling fast. At half light, that's the time for the ducks. So I'll make sure there's no mud in me gun barrel. No, you're in front of me. Always come to me left. There you go. Good boy, stay there. Right, so now it's a case of hoping for the best. A lot of people call wildfowling very cold, wet and muddy bird watching. Because sometimes you'll be out there and you'll never get a shot. Other times, it all kicks off. Here come the ducks, Alfie. Sit. Keep still. Nope, they've just flown a bit too far past wide now. There's some widgeon. They're coming up the main channel. Stay there. Here we go. Oh, they're just too far. The range of a 12-bore shotgun is only 35 yards. We don't want to be taking anything further than that because I want my bird dead in the air. Down it comes, thud. I send the dog, nice close quarters, he brings it back. The wise Alex that take chancy shots at birds at 100 yards or more, they're the idiots that go home empty-handed. And the last thing we want is wounded ducks, so I want my birds close. Flipping heck, Alfie, the geese are coming. Canada geese. Here they come, straight over the top. Are you ready? Now! Bang! Miss! Bang! Got one! Splat! We got it. And Alfie's going, never saw a thing. Heel. You don't do running in. So then, we got a bird down there. Now picture the scene now. Let's imagine that duck I shot, that mallard, in that corner there, look, that's landed on the marsh. That's dead, it's not going anywhere, is it? If that goose has landed in the water, especially in the main channel, that's being swept away by the tide. So you've got to be on it fast. And this is where the hand signals come in. So I empty me gun, no more shooting until I've got these birds in my hand. It's all literally kicking off now. There's other birds flying, all this stuff. You've got lapwing, golden plover, everything's all moving now. Red shanks going down the gutters. But I'm not shooting anything until I've got those birds. So I want the cat, I want the grey lag goose, Alfie. Fetch him on. Back. No! Hey, that was good. Sit. That's a mallard. Now that was actually very, very good. I was very pleased with that because I stopped him. And that's what you've got to do with your pet dogs as well. Alfie. Back. No! Back. No! Back. Hand signals. He's not looking at me there, you see, but we got it in the end, look. He's heavy bird, this. Here we go. And we nailed him. What a picture this is. Good boy. Put your hands together, folks. That was actually really quite good. Sit. Right, okay, so we got our goose. You leave that. Now, we got a duck over there, and he's probably forgotten about it now, because I've told him no, haven't I? So let's see how we're going to get on. Hand signals. You weren't even looking at me. And this is what happens. You get a dog that's got a little bit of experience and they think they know it all. He's got to be looking at me for the hand signals and the directions. Alfie. Back. Vegetable. There. When he's getting close and I know where it is, I tell him there and he's starting to get the hang of this now quite well. Good boy. So we got a brilliant, mate. Well done. Drop. Good boy. Boy, that thing is really smelling funky now. What? Alright, so we got ourselves a goose and a mallard. That's plenty for one morning. That is the sport of wildfowling. It's epic. If there's any of you think you're tough enough to give this a go, it doesn't have to be this extreme, I know, but it's even if you're really fat, you can still do this. I've been doing it since I was 11. I'm now 60. I still do it I still do it every single season because it is the future for shooting, and we always eat everything we catch. Enough of all that. From me and Stupid Alfie. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you learned something. Join me down on the stand a bit later. Thank you.